guys, and welcome back. This is ChosenArchitect, and today we're jumping back into some more Create Astral. I hope you guys are ready. So today is going to be a big day. We are going to be getting into the Create mod. So that is one of the big parts of this mod pack. There's a ton of quests. In the last episode, we unlocked the andesite world. Now, there's still a lot to do on this first page, but I think a lot of this is sort of tempting me to automate certain things. For example, this right here, the being your own chef, this is something that we can definitely get into here soon. But the section over here where it talks about gather, I feel like that is going to be a thing for create potentially. Now some of the other stuff like potion making, I definitely want to get into that. And then also we have a winery area over here, kind of cool. And then all of these under this section right here, chipped, is for decoration blocks, which we will be getting into once we get some more mining done, because I know some of these require redstone and things like that. But under the andesite world, we still need to do some mining, some heavy mining. So underneath here, these are all of the materials we're going to kind of need a good amount of, a good stockpile of, to really get started with this. Otherwise, we're going to be going back and forth, back and forth. So I need to find more tin, I need to find more copper and more iron. Mining clay is pretty easy, and then while we're mining for the other materials, we should find more andesite. And that should be pretty much it. Now, getting started, it looks like we're just going to be making some basic cogs, getting some basic infrastructure. We already have a makeshift pistol that we ended up getting from a creeper. And we do have some of these mechanics, so we do have gearbox and things like that we did find. But we're going to be needing to get into the millstone, it looks like, and then getting quartz through the millstone in some way. And how do we go about doing that? Well, it looks like we can take diorite and crush it down to get quartz. And quartz is going to be useful for making a few things. It looks like computers could be potentially done, and turtles would be kind of cool, as those can sort of mine for you with coal. That would be kind of a fun project. Which is kind of a thing I've never done before. I don't think I've ever messed with a computer craft. Mechanical presses is going to push us into sheets. It looks like this is going to push us towards trains, but our ultimate goal is to get up to here, which is to get grout. And that is going to require zinc and andesite alloy. I think we can mine zinc with a copper pickaxe potentially. But getting grout is going to be a huge jump for us, because this is going to allow us to make tools that can not only chop down trees fairly quickly, but it's also going to allow us to make some tools that can mine in a 3x3 and all kinds of cool stuff. So we definitely need to get there, and get there pretty quickly. All right, so to get to that point, I think we need to do some mining. So I've already kind of created a little bit of a mine down here, and I noticed when I went down here that there's some structures underground. So as I was mining this hole, I seen something in the top left of the mini map. You can see there on the mini map, there is something up there. So I've been working my way over there. Ooh, I hear bats. That's a good sign. Yes. Oh, we are here. We have made it. Okay, so there's wood, there's a cobweb. I need to be careful because I don't know what to expect out of this. I'm gonna place down all of this. Hopefully my my Vault Hunter skills has helped me combat, but there's a different combat mod in here. What is this like? Is this supposed to be Terraria? Is this supposed to be a Terraria reference? Like a Terraria house underground? This is 100% a Terraria reference. There's an extractinator down here. This is a Terraria reference. 100%. Okay, what is this? Is this something that we can actually use? Because I'll take advantage of that. Okay, so there was a bucket. There's a smoker. So now we have all of the basic mechanics. This is just empty space. I will probably go back and grab that iron. But what's in these upper chests? Oh man, I hope there's like treasure. Okay, so we have paper, some books, smithing, and some gold. Very nice. And a bed. But we didn't get lucky and get any kind of like artifact or anything like that. I know there are artifacts, I believe, in this pack. So this would have been a cool way to find that. Oh my goodness. Now I think there's another one also on the other side. So I could head over there as well. Of course, me mining in this direction is still mining, so I might as well go and try to find these. Also, as you can see, this right here requires like an iron level tool. As you can see, I can't break it with my regular pickaxe. So I'm thinking maybe copper will allow me to break that. We'll see. We'll see for sure. We do have some copper picks. Yeah, over this way. Over this way. I noticed there was another structure. So yeah, you can see in the top left of the corner, there is another structure off in this direction. So I should head over there and check that out. I'm almost there, and I managed to come across some lapis while I was down here. So yes, I will take that. I don't know if this can be used still. I know the upgrading in Tinkers is a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure lapis is still required to put like fortune on your pick. Now I'm going to be journeying off soon because I'm going to need to grab some kelp. That is one important thing. So we need to find an ocean. But before we go on that journey, I still want to make my traveler's gear from Tinkers. And to do that, we need more leather. Now there's a quest built in here, and all we have to do is sort of make a stove to get that quest started, so that way we can get the rewards. But the thing that we're going to need is a pot. We're going to need a cutting board and a skillet. I need the cutting board, so I figured might as well go through the quest line so I can get myself some jambalaya. That would be pretty nice. So to make a campfire, just some simple wood, coal, and all that fun stuff. It looks like we're also going to need tin in this process. And what else for a stove top? This is pretty easy. We're going to need some bricks. So I'm just going to have to smelt up a little bit of coal, or sorry, a little bit of clay in order to get that. I do need to break the clay up though, because I did compress it down. So breaking that into some clay balls. And yeah, we should be able to just use the regular furnace. I'm going to get this all set up, and we should be ready to get to cutting up some leather. Man, I hope I have enough tin to craft all this stuff. But basically, we are going to be doing this. Let's see, can I make this? Nope, that makes rods. I'm going to need a few sticks. And crafting everything together, I kind of want to show this off. We'll have that. The stove, which is a really nice tool, by the way. It's like a campfire, but we can do other things with it. For example, use a skillet to automate our food. So we're going to need 2 skillets for this. And that means I'm missing 1 piece of tin. But I guess I can go ahead and just get away with 1 skillet and just make the cutting board for right now. And I believe the cutting board is like this with wood and a couple of sticks. But that cutting board is going to be so useful for us. So yes, this is the cutting board. Okay, so cutting board we can go ahead and place up here. And I need to make a knife. So a knife is going to be, I think it's 2 sticks. Let me search. A good old-fashioned knife. Oh, it's like that, sort of like an iron pick. But we should be able to place this extra leather gear that we're getting down onto here to get a bonus amount of leather. So this will be pretty useful. Let's go ahead and take this. Unless that was removed, or maybe, yeah, there it goes. So maybe with a different tool, do I have to use an axe or something on it? Okay, for this I have to use shears or a comma. And so I can just use my comma to do it. So I guess I could have gotten away with completing the quest and actually making the saucepan. But we'll have some more tin here in a little bit. I'm going to go mining for more of it. Now, back to putting the leather on here. So leather goes on there, and then this gets us some bonus out of that. Which is pretty nice. So I'm going to take what we currently have on, and I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all this leather gear. And there we go. So we have some bonus leather to go with what we currently have. And I think this is enough, along with copper, to make us the traveling gear set. This is going to be nice. I think I now have everything for this set. So let's go ahead and make the boots, pants. The leather's dwindling. There's the vest. And then last but not least, our goggles. And there we go. So quest complete, and we get a iron chest from that, and we also get some rice as well from completing those quests. The iron chest is going to be pretty nice. This is a pretty large chest. So it takes up the same space, I believe, as a double chest. Yep. And it's only in 1 block space. And we are looking mighty fancy in our new swag. Look at this. All copper and leathered up. Very, very nice. And we have a lot more armor. So we are definitely more resilient to attacks. I think though the bonus that comes with this armor is definitely later on, because it does require a lot more materials, such as 40 feathers, I believe, will give us 1 level of fall prevention. So we'll take some feather falling with that. There's also some speed boosts we can put on our pants and things like that, all requiring a significant amount of resources that will hopefully hit down the road. By the way, I made this stove from Farmer's Delight, and look at this. Let's toss some meat on there, and we're actually cooking. Yes, this is hilarious. And when it's done, as you can see, it just pops right off, and we have ourselves a beef patty. This can be used for several ingredients in the future. And we have cows, so of course we have milk, and all we got to do is convert our wheat into some bread, and we're looking pretty good here. I don't think we have potatoes. Potatoes are a fantastic thing to do as well. Should probably get some potatoes crafted. Now, after gathering a bit more tin, I think we're ready to get into the create mod. I know it's been a little bit, so now I have a little bit more tin, and the first thing we're gonna make is some bronze. To do this, we need a smithing table, which is kind of cool. I've never seen like recipes adding to the smithing table, but let's make a little bit of this. And then we're also going to need a bit of iron, and I believe wood or stone. I think andesite will work, because we also need to make ourselves a stone cutter. Let's see, stone, it might be a different recipe. You never know. But a stone cutter is just regular stone. Actually, I don't know if I have just regular stone, so I'm gonna have to smelt some regular stone up, I believe. And also andesite alloy is some stuff we need to make, but we need to make the compound first and then smelt it. That's going to be clay balls, iron, and andesite. So we might as well get that worked up as well. And that's just going to be iron nuggies. We can break some of those down. And we're going to need a bunch of this. Like, all of this stuff is going to be needed. Look at that, we made 12 from what we currently had. So yeah, this might take a little bit of time to get a lot of. But some of the first things that I want to automate should help in producing these materials. Now that we have the stone cutter, we can go ahead and place that down. Don't step on this. Villagers is super dangerous just sitting here. But we should be able to take the bronze, and then we convert that, and you can see we get 20. We get 2 times the amount. Nice. So we get some sheets this way, which is super handy. And all of these sheets are going to allow us to make things like cogwheels, for example, large cogwheels. It looks like 2 cogwheels. There's all these recipes, and it looks like they're just done in a crafting table, thankfully, which makes later on automation for it a little bit easier. Now, a power source is a water wheel or a hand crank. Now, in our case, it does recommend, it does sort of show that we can use a hand crank right off the bat. But we need to make 6 cogwheels and shafts, which is going to require that andesite alloy. And also, the andesite alloy is going to be used for making the cogs as well. Awesome. So, we'll take our alloy. We take the alloy and we just craft it together. And we need at least 6 of these. And then, of course, the standard recipe for the shafts. And now, we've got that complete, which gives us some more goodies, which I definitely want. So, completing the quests are definitely important. Now, the hand crank, on the other hand, pun intended, hand crank, is it not called a hand crank? There it is. It's just separated. This will allow us to sort of test out our stuff, but it's also going to give us a little bit of a head start. I'm pretty sure, though, we can make a water wheel and move power that way. If you've searched and explored a little bit, you should have yourself some gearboxes at this point. So, what should we go for? Well, I think the mechanical press and a depot is somewhere we definitely need to head to. Now, getting this is a stretch right now. So, getting ourselves quartz is going to be okay, but we don't have redstone yet to really utilize that. So, I think we need to go here and then work towards a mechanical mixer and then work towards getting grout. And then we need to work towards belts. Yes, our first automation for today is going to be grout. Now, to make the mechanical press and depot, well, it's going to require a new mechanic, and that is stripping logs and then right-clicking andesite alloy on here. And when we do that, we get ourselves some andesite casing. this is going to be used to make the mechanical press, as you can see here, and the depot. So both of these are required. The depot is going to require andesite alloy, and this is going to require a shaft, andesite alloy, and a block of iron. So thankfully we have just enough iron. Really going to take a chunk out of our current supply, which is honestly not much. But there's the depot, and there's the mechanical press. Woo! So, we're almost done, right? Well, I mean, technically, yes. We have just about everything done that we need to manually get a setup going. So, out here, I can go ahead and set up the mechanical press. And it's as simple as placing it down, placing a depot underneath, or I place a depot and place that on top, and then place a hand crank. And then now that we have a hand crank there, we can make our first thing, right? And thankfully we get some more andesite alloy. We can make iron sheets, and it says to make 10 of them, which is probably the amount we're going to need. Now, if I place 10 on here, as you see right now, one just landed, but I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we can place 10 on here all at once. And as you can see, they all go on at once, but they don't all convert at once. So we can activate this with our hand, and this will have to press 10 times. And while it's doing this, notice my saturation just going down, because to do this, it does cost hunger to do it manually like this. And when it's all done, we should just see sheets setting on top. And later on, we can set up the automation for this will happen on belts. And it looks like it's all done. So there's all 10 of our sheets, and we can get rewarded with some smoked ham and some andesite casing sheets. Yes, with these, there are many new options for create blocks machines, like drills that will assist in mining the first few diamonds, or mechanical saws. Oh, interesting. So that's how we're going to go about getting some of our resources, is we're going to have to make this, and we're going to have to manually use the hand crank on it to get our diamonds. Very interesting. So I went ahead and set up a little bit of an extension over here because I want a more industrialized area. And so I placed down a bunch of stone here to give myself a nice little flat area for setting up some of these smaller contraptions. Later on, we're going to have all kinds of infrastructure, I believe, for this. But before we go anywhere, we should probably get some kelp. I know that, like, it may sound a little crazy, we don't already have it, but we need to find it in an ocean. And I don't know if this counts as an ocean, but this definitely does. So if I don't find it over here, we're going to be making our way all the way back to find that. Now, the villagers have been multiplying in there. And here's the thing with the villagers in this village. They feel a little off to me, as if they don't really want me here. And that feeling is definitely pressing. So I don't know how long I'm going to be at this location. But yeah, if the villagers keep up with their antics, I'm going to have to move very, very soon. But yeah, we're definitely going to get some basic stuff set up. Oh yeah, there's kelp. That's fantastic. Yeah, they're gonna have to deal with me for a little bit longer. I mean, one of them was eyeing me like they were looking at the windmill, and they were eyeballing me, and like I felt very uncomfortable, almost as if it was like threatening that they were gonna throw me into the windmill bearings. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but it's definitely a thing. Now, I was looking into belts, and I don't think we're gonna be able to do belts just yet, because even though we have the kelp and we have the ability to dry it, we don't have rubber yet. And now rubber is a mixing process, which we are going to get the mixer set up, but we also need sap. And to get sap, I think there's a way to do it from Tech Reborn, but we can also just throw rubber logs into a mill. And later on, of course, crushing wheels. But throwing it into the mill means we need to make a mill, and we also need to find rubber trees. So maybe we should go on a venture to find rubber trees? I feel like belts are a very important part of the early game automation, even though it's not mentioning it here, other than, I guess it is right here, right? Good business. But no, it's not mentioning it anywhere else. So I feel like I may be kind of jumping the gun unless there's something else, but definitely need to do this. So making water wheels, if we just make 2 water wheels, we're good to go. That'll get us some basic power. Let's go ahead and get all of this stuff crafted up, right? I need to make myself a basin to be able to get this all set up. A basin and then a mixer. The mixer is going to require all those plates that we just made, a cogwheel and an andesite casing. So we have the mixer ready to go. And then we need to make water wheels. So for that, we just need our slabs. And it looked like if we just make 2 of them, it will grant us several of them, which is kind of nice. This one is harnessing. So does this mean we actually need to set it up with water? I think so. I think it is actually looking for the achievement. So to do that, it's very simple. Let's just place this down like this for right now and place water. And that will grant us what we need. Let's go ahead and break this real quick. And then grab our extra 3. Now, there's a thing that you can do with this. You can place them like this, right? And you can power them. But, hear me out. I think that it is much better. I think it's much better if you place them like this. Now, when you place them like this, things change. You don't have to worry about having a mess of a water wheel. So hear me out. I think it is important. So let's go ahead and dig ourselves a hole. Actually, we can probably set up multiples of these. And let's do it over here in the grass. Do it over here in the grass. So we just dig ourselves a hole, and then we lay out multiples of these beside each other. And this generates a good amount of stress units. I believe it's the same as if this was fully powered on its side. So if we place one here, and then we place a block, for example, right here, or like right here in the middle, right? And then we place the water in the corner, this is going to produce the same amount of stress units as if it was 100% fully powered being on its side, meaning you need another source like soul soil to be bubbling up the water. This, I believe, is one of the best ways of producing the water wheel power. It may seem a little bit odd that it's on its side, but if you want to flip the direction, let's say you need something to spin the other way, if you hold shift in this pack will change the direction. So I was holding shift when I placed this. If I jump and place this one, notice the paddles are going in a different direction, meaning it's based on the direction that you want the water. You want the water to be going on the scoops where the scoops provide the most resistance, or look like they would provide the most resistance. And I mean, in a real world situation, that would be how it would work. So this is going to generate quite a bit of stress units. This is a really, really good setup here. Now, another thing we can do is we can just place them where we need power. This is another fantastic part about this. So I can take some shafts, right? We just need a mechanical basin. I'm going to go ahead and place this on the ground right now. It looks like it's getting dark. The sun is setting. But if we set this over here, for example, I place it right here, and I place the mixer right on top, we can set up a shaft that will rotate this. And just one water wheel is plenty to power this whole thing. But this is going to need a rotational force that is a little bit more than what the water wheel provides. So to be able to get that rotational force needed to power this thing, what we can do is we can have a cogwheel here, and we can use cogs. We're going to need a larger cog. I think the large cog is this mixed with andesite alloy, right? How do we make the large cog? No, it's 2 cogs. But we're going to need to get the cog wig. Let me go ahead and sleep, and we'll get this set up. So back at this, to increase the overall speed of this setup, we can add ourselves a cog on the side of this one. And what will happen is the rotation, as you can see, it says shifting gears because we're going to be doing that. This is gear shifting. This will spin slow, and because this is a smaller size, the rotation will be significantly increased because the outer edge, it's very complicated for me to explain. But let's just say that if you place a small cog adjacent to a large cog and you're spinning the large cog, the smaller cog will spin faster. I guess that's the best way to sort of put it in layman's terms. The mechanical energy is very, very interesting. So let's go ahead and get our water wheel, and we'll make sure to attach it directly here. Now, this large cogwheel is not directly, it's just clipping through the block. It's not actually powering anything. This one is, and this is connected to the cogwheel. But I think it's better to place your cogs and then figure out where you need the power early on. So down here, we'll place down our fantastical water wheel. And this doesn't matter what direction it's going to be facing. but we do know that the water needs to flow in this direction based on where the paddles are at. So I'll place my block and then place my water, and we have rotation. Now we'll take a shaft, and the shaft needs to extend up and into this, and as you can see, that's spinning. And then to cover this up, we can use an andesite casing right here, and that prevents it from just being a hole in the ground. And notice it didn't actually consume my andesite casing. You can also do that for these as well. And so we can technically cover all of this up to make it look a little bit nicer. A little bit. Just a teensy bit nicer. So with all that set up, this is now ready to go. So all we'd have to do is toss in our ingredients that are needed to go in here, and this will mix them all up. Now, without a belt, we don't have a good way to export the items out of here. Now, a hopper really won't work because it doesn't have a filter. So we need to later on, or as soon as we can, prioritize belts, and then automation for this, it will be much nicer. But for now, well, we can now mix the ingredients that we set out to mix, and that is grout. So to do this, we need andesite alloy, ouch, kind of expensive, zinc, which we are going to have to mine a specific way. We'll probably have to do that here in a second, and then mix it with gravel. And that's going to produce 8 grout, and then that grout needs to be smelted, turned into sear brick, which we then can use to make a basic melter and finally get into some basic tinker tools. That is going to be very handy. Now, mining zinc, we should be able to do. We do have this iron pickaxe. I don't remember if we got it via a quest or not, but it says will require mechanical press to reproduce. I'm pretty sure we found that in a chest here. And so this will make things a little bit easier, but if you don't have that, I do want to test if a copper pick will work. So we do have a copper pick as well that we've found in chests. I do recommend looting as much as you can, but we have zinc that is right down here. So we can test and see if we can actually break zinc with this copper one. So it looks like yes. So we can actually, so yeah, finding a copper pick will be pretty easy. And then we have an iron pick. Iron pick can be used to break diamonds, but if you don't have an iron pick or you haven't found one and haven't gotten really lucky with that, it says you can use a mechanical drill. Now the mechanical drill needs power on the back side, and so you would just place it in a way that it is facing the block, the drill head. And after that, you would want to use your hand crank to rotate it, and it will end up breaking the block. So a pretty good way of getting the resources early on without needing an iron pick. So let's put this all to the test and drop it all in. By the way, if you want to just fully drop a whole stack, if you didn't know, you hold down Control and hit Q, and that will put the whole stack in. And so we just let this happen. As you can see, there we go, mixing it up. And this will take a little bit of time because we put a bunch of the ingredients in there all at once. But when it comes back up, we should be able to pull the ingredients back out by right-clicking. And yeah, as you can see, it actually works. Now, if this is not working, it means that it's not going fast enough. So you do have to do this gear ratio, at least with the water wheel. Otherwise, it will not work. And by the way, there we go. With what we had, with the amount of gravel that we provided it, so based on how much gravel we give it is how much of the grout we're actually going to receive. And we just got to smelt all this. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty good place to sort of wrap things up. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed thus far. Of course, guys, be sure to click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video a thumbs up. Guys, it's been fantastic. I think it's time, of course, to finish up our quest, which we will do. We get a sniffer egg. Ooh, that's new. But we'll be getting all of this awesome stuff. Look at that. Look how many things we actually get. Oh, that's going to be great. So we're going to click that next episode. And so we have something to look forward to. And we're going to be getting into cooler stuff. There's just so much stuff that we can dive into. Of course, once we get full automation, things are just going to fly by. So I think it's time to thank the supporter of today's video. And today's huge thanks is going to go to Weird Guy the Third. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way, over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member. Of course, there are many ways to support this channel, and that is a fantastic one by joining the Discord and checking out the membership stuff all over there. But of course, there are members built directly here into YouTube. So if it's a little bit more convenient to do that, then check out the YouTube members. Down below, right by the subscribe button, you also get the same perks as everything that is set up on the Discord, all through Discord. So be sure to set that up. Make sure you link your YouTube to your Discord account and everything will be fantastic. There's also still Patreon if you're more familiar with that. And of course, Twitch. Follow me over Twitch, twitch.tv/ChosenArchitect. I do live stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. And as of right now, I'm playing some Vault Hunters 3rd edition on the SMP with all of the fantastic peeps over there. So be sure to check that out. Guys, I thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. And I'm having a blast. I hope you're having a blast too. Hope to see you soon in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.